Curtis Blaydes and Rozenstruik. This one is going under the radar. And there's some moving parts here. The moving parts are Curtis Blaydes has been, and I believe recently was in his fight with Derek Lewis, one win away from fighting for a championship. Now, whether he would have actually gotten that fight, I know we can have a conversation, but I do believe that he was the rightful number one contender. Curtis got put in a very tough spot, which is not only has he competed with Ngannou once, he's competed with Ngannou twice. So to get that third fight, but now for a world title, was going to be tough. There was going to be some maneuvering there. But in the heavyweight class that is completely in shambles, as far as the organization or where that is or who even wants to fight or when they're willing to fight, I mean, there's no bigger bunch of babies in fighting than the heavyweights right now. So it would have been meaningful. Now, if you look at Rozenstruik, okay? Rozenstruik has some very meaningful wins, some meaningful loss against both the champions, Ciryl and Francis. I only bring that to you because this appears to be the number one contenders match. I mean, it really does in all fairness. And when I talk about a number one contenders match, I mean, of the heavyweight fights that we have signed that are upcoming, this is the two biggest studs aside from the title fight with Francis and Ciryl. These are the two biggest studs signed, locked in right now, ready to go. Nobody is looking at this as a number one contenders fight. And I only submit for you, well, you don't have a lot of parity. There's not a lot of parity. If Curtis was to move forward or if Rozenstruik is to move forward, you're talking about rematches. You're talking about something that we've already seen. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's generally not one of the ingredients to becoming a number one contender and moving on to a world title fight. But I mean, look, Derek Brunson's in the same spot. I don't think anybody's arguing that Derek Brunson qualifies and deserves, if given a nod, for any fight, including that of a world championship, which would be a rematch against Adesanya. So this isn't a disqualifying factor, but I feel as though maybe that's why nobody's looking at this. I maintain for you that Curtis Blaydes has been given an unfair shake around here from day one by you guys. I don't know what it is about Curtis that I've missed that people don't like. I have not seen it. I have not seen him be a jerk. His wins are impressive. His losses are equally as impressive if you want to see who they're against. The fact that he lost to Ngannou in seconds. I can't remember what it was, 20, 40. It was less than 60 seconds. And begs for a rematch. Gets it. Flies to a different continent to take it. Gets stopped again in seconds. And begs for number 3. Those are the kind of guys you love. Curtis Blaydes is everything that you would love. He's good looking. He's young. He's big. His skills are growing, right? His punches and kicks, sometimes that's even been the detriment. He's getting so good with the punches and kicks, he forgets those are option 2 or they're option to set up the wrestling, which is number 1. Rozenstruik is a hammer. And Rozenstruik is so good at striking that when he lost a striking contest to Francis, I mean, that rubbed Rozenstruik the wrong way. I'll go ahead and lose to Francis. I'm not losing to him like that. Give me a rematch. So he's another willful guy. He's another meaningful competitor, true competitor with grit, heart, and toughness that wants to get in there. So now that these guys are with each other and I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the ranking, I'm looking at this big, beautiful card on International Fight Week, and I'm wondering, where's the headlines? Where's the headlines? And what does this fight mean? It means something. It has to. You have two big, bad son of bitches with big, beautiful numbers next to their names, according to the rankings, folks, that have a courage and a willingness to go out there and compete, which is one ingredient that the other heavyweight don't have. This fight has to mean something. Where's the headlines? And when that headline finally is drawn, what should it be? What is on the line with Blaydes and Rozenstruik?